Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you did not get a chance to check out my video on frequency separation and how I do it, go and check that out first because I'm showing you my workflow as far as how I do skin retouching. Once I get to Photoshop, I start with frequency separation and then I'll do dodging and burning. So right now I'm going to show you what I do when I am basically doing my basic touch-ups in Lightroom before I get to Photoshop. So I do my touch-ups in Lightroom. Exposure, brightness, up in the shadows, whatever needs to be corrected, like a basic correction, and then I will export everything over to Photoshop. And so here's how I do it. So here you have the picture, got like a base look, what I want, and then I will go up here to Photo, Edit in Photoshop, and we're gonna go and do everything in Photoshop from here on. Speed this up. Alright, so what I'm doing with the dodging and burning is I'm taking the imperfections in the skin and I'm lightening those up, and anything that is uneven I just kind of try to get it to even level. So if you have some blemishes or you have some highlights or areas that are too dark, you're going to use the dodge and burn tool to get those areas a bit more even and looking good. So we're smoothing out the skin tones in this video. Choose a new layer. Then I'm going to go to Edit, Fill. And because I've been already doing editing on some pictures, it's already where I want it to be. I want to choose normal for the blending mode and 50% gray. Leave opacity at 100, hit OK. And so that layer that we have is now gray. We'll come down in your blending mode to soft light. And then I'll label this dodge because this is the layer where I want to do my dodge, the area where I lighten the skin. Then I want to hit Command J or Control J if you're using the PC to copy that dodge layer. And then I'm going to label it burn. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is choose my dodge tool over in my tools panel. I want to leave the range at midtones. And the exposure level, I'm going to kind of adjust this as I go, but for right now I'm going to decrease it to about 5%. Choose my dodge layer. Make sure my brush is as soft as it can go, so 0% hardness. Increase the size because I'll start right here on the forehead where you can see the light on the forehead is it's kind of like a harsh transition between that light because I was using off-camera flash and the dark skin. So I want to even those out to kind of make a smooth transition. So here we go. And this particular model has really nice skin. It would be nitpicking to say that you know imperfections, trying to point out any imperfections, but there are a few things, and for training purposes I am going to work on, and you can get as detailed as you need to by zooming in. I wouldn't work too closely zoomed in the entire time because I really want to make sure that I see what I'm doing and I don't want to overdo it. And so you can see with that dodge tool how it's lightening up the skin tone, the uneven areas. And this is really important. The dodge and burn tool is really important because you want to try to make the skin pop as much as possible. And so when you have that smooth transition between the light and the dark areas, it'll make everything stand out. It kind of gives that glowing look, and that's what we're going for with this model, especially when you have African American models with a darker skin complexion. Just make the skin shine. And so I'm using a Wacom pen to do my touch-ups because I feel like I have more control that way by using a Wacom. And I don't know how people do it with a mouse, but I guess it can be done. I've seen people do it before and they're pretty good with it, but me, I prefer to use a Wacom pen. So I'm using the Wacom Intuos 4 pad to do it. And so again, going over the highlights, and I'm taking what the photo gives me and I'm working with that. I'm not trying to create something out of nothing. So we'll highlight the lips. Some of the areas on the lips that are already highlighted, we'll just kind of bring those out and make it pop that much more. And anywhere on the skin that's exposed, we'll even that transition on the skin out between the shadows and the light. On the wrist over here, you can see her wrist, and just kind of soften that transition up a little bit. All right, and then, so I'm gonna kind of fast forward a little bit. We're doing the same thing on the legs. Same thing, we'll lighten up the skin tone a little bit just for the smooth transition. So now that I'm done with the dodge tool, I am going to go and choose the burn tool from the tools panel. I'm going to go to my layer that I have labeled burn, and I'm going to go over the dark areas on her skin. Just the same as I went over the light, I'll go over the dark areas. And again, darkening up some of those areas will make the skin pop. We'll change our exposure to 4. And I'm just going to go kind of over the bridge of the nose. And let's speed this up. And focus on some of those areas. I mean, you can even use the dodge and burn tool on clothing or whatever is going to make this picture pop. You're the artist. Trust your eye. You can always undo what you did if you don't like it, but just kind of have fun with it. Again, be careful not to overdo it. And so we get to the point to where sometimes the model needs a little bit of more light in the eyes to make the eyes stand out a bit more. And so I will use the dodge tool on her eyes. And don't overdo it. I don't want her to look like a zombie. So I'll make sure that I won't overdo the eyes. But I'll brighten them up just a little bit. And basically that's it. That's how I do my dodge and burn technique. Once I'm done with the dodge and burn, I will go back, save my photo, go to File, Save, and then it will upload the updated photo back into Lightroom where I'll finish my edits. Again, if you didn't see the frequency separation video that I did, take a look at that and then go and do the dodge and burn, and then we'll finish up with the last video. Thanks for watching.